Hey girl, hey, this is Victoria Parker, owner of Hey Girl, Hey Health and Fitness, and we are in Girl Talk episode, I think
Yay!
this is 6.
Yes.
Yes. So we have somebody who's special to me, and I,
Oh,
and I have the honor of saying that we are related.
yes, we are.
I'd like to introduce you to Miss Erica.
Hey, hey, girl. Hey,
Hey
how are
girl,
you doing
hey.
today?
Ah, and I'm excited to talk to you because actually we're going to be talking about something that is kind of near and dear to both of our hearts, right? It's a little bit of a passion of both of ours. But
Yes.
before we get into our topic of self-care,
hmm
I would like for you to just to briefly, and I know you, but I want
Okay.
everyone else to get to know you a little bit more. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I live in Birmingham, Alabama. I'm a wife and a mom of a 1 year old, and I also have two bonus daughters who are 15 and 17. I've been married for almost 3 years now. Um, my husband is one of the best things that's happened to me, and I love him very much. And he has been a lifesaver, of course, with the birth of our son, and some other things have gone on in the past couple of years. And so I have my background is in social work. I'm a mental health professional, but I have found that the things that I have talked to other people about and helped them along their journey are some of the things that I have needed within the past year or so in my own life. So, as you mentioned, I am very, very, very passionate about self care, um, improving your health, whether it's mental and physical, emotional, spiritual, whatever area of your health that needs to be improved. How can you incorporate resources to help you to do that? And I found that self care, mainly for a lot of women, is on the back burner if it's on the stove at all.
Right.
And while we're in this self-care movement where everything's like, yes, self-care Sunday and self-care this, it's still something that is not really viewed or looked upon as importantly as it should be. So
Absolutely.
my passions are, of course, working with girls and women to conceptualize and figure out the things that they want to do with their lives. And what I would like to do is come alongside of them to help them to hone those skills and to bring those goals into fruition.
I like that. I like that. And I mentioned that we were related, but I didn't say how. So Erica is my husband's first cousin.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
PJ and I, well, we all grew up very closely together. He and I are only a year apart. He's a year older than me. And he loves to tell stories about our summers together and how he taught me how to read, which, I don't know about that being a 100%
I'm like, he
true.
was only a year older than you.
I know. But he tells everybody that he helped me to learn how to read. I think I was like 5 or 6. So, but
He tells
yeah,
my kids that too. And I'm looking at them like, okay.
I know, like when he says that, sometimes I'll give him the side eye. I'm like, okay, I'll let you get away with that.
Just let them have it. Just let them have
Yeah,
it.
I'm reading now, and I love to read. I love books, so thank you, PJ. Thank you.
Right, right. Okay, so back to self-care. So I know we've had several conversations about, just
We
our
have
own self-care, and then with you being a new mom and,
right.
and just so what are some of the things that you would say, well, I know we've talked about like your audience of women, and
hmm
what are some of the things that you share with them that's important, especially when you have a young baby at home? How to make, because self-care is kind of non-existent when you have an infant. So what are some of
It
the things that you share with
truly.
them?
And I've also found, to be honest with you, Vicky, that self care is hardly existent for the woman who's on the go all the time, maybe trying to make it in her profession. Sometimes she may not be a wife and a mom, she may just be a go getter, maybe in school trying to better herself, maybe a caregiver to a parent or to another loved one. And so self care falls by the wayside, and eventually, again, it just goes away. So, what I have learned in my own journey, and some of the things that I like to share, is that self care can be as big as you want it to be, And that's great. You know, we talk about, oh, you know, brunch with the girls on Sunday, or like these like over the top hair deep conditioning treatments and doing all these things on on a Saturday for your hair or for your nails or a pedicure. But I'm finding just women don't stop to just take a breath. I mean, let's start there sometimes. You know, a minute or two of meditation, a minute or two of just checking in to see where you are. Okay, you know, how am I right now in this moment? What are my thoughts about today? Can I just stop for a second and just analyze, you know, my breathing? Am I okay? Um, and I found that lately, we're not even doing that. We're not checking in with ourselves to see how we're doing. And so I do that myself. I have found, and I'm a huge fan of mindfulness, um, meditating along, of course, with prayer and or prayer for those. I have people who, of course, don't pray or believe in a higher power. So we talk about just meditation or just focusing on a word or an affirmation. However, just taking that time. And so if you don't say, well, I don't have the time to, you know, do a deep conditioning session on my hair or do my nails. Okay, well, do you have time to do some deep breathing techniques?
Sitting on a toilet.
Exactly. Do you have time to do what I call a brain dump? That takes, I mean, a couple of minutes. You're not going for, you know, a journal even. You know, you're not even trying to do that. You're just trying to just dump stuff out of your brain.
I'm an advocate of brain dumping. Like I do it. I can show you in my book right here. I do it
I
almost
wish I
nightly.
had mine. I love
Yeah,
it.
brain dumping is powerful, and it's nothing.
It
Like
is.
it's nothing really. It's just
Right.
releasing and getting rid of all of the stuff that's going through your brain. So I do it at night so I can sleep. Because if I don't,
I do it in the
I'll be.
morning because I find that when I get up, I'm almost like on a go 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 mentality, like I'm a little robot. And so I have to say, okay, well, hold on a minute. And so even the things I'm worried about or I'm concerned about or anxious about, I just dump it out. And then sometimes I look at it and I can organize my day a little bit better. I can kind of say, okay, yeah, that's not a priority. You know, this is not even something to be concerned about. And it helps me sometimes to center back and to focus on what's important.
Right.
Another thing, I'm not a big like to-do list person. And that's fine if people are that or they do that, more power to them. However, for me, I find that making a to-do list doesn't help me, especially because sometimes I can have like 10 or 15 things on that list for the day when I probably can only get maybe one or two of those things done.
So actually on Thursday, tomorrow, I'm going to be
Mhm.
talking about, I call it a done list. So not a to-do list, but a done list. And so
I like
in my
that.
workshop, Mastering Your Time, we're going to talk about the to-do list versus a done list and how to be more productive and actually
Yes. I
get
mean, and
things
I like
done
that,
versus.
and I can't wait to check that out. But it's okay to say, well, I don't want to do a to-do list, but I do have this that I want to accomplish today. Like what of this list, if I made a list, would be the top one or two things that would make my day better or make it flow more effectively if I got that done. And
Right.
again, sometimes it's only one or two things, and that is more than okay. I also find that myself included and other women tend to just charge ahead. We're charging ahead. We're charging ahead. Um, go, go, go. Sometimes don't even take time for lunch or a break or coffee. Well, that in itself can be a form of self care. You know, fix you a nice cup of coffee and sit down for a moment. Take a couple of minutes for yourself. I had a client that I told it goes back to the story from yesterday, and it was so funny. I told somebody, just get you a Coke and go sit out in your car, in your driveway. Turn on your music, find a channel or station that you want to listen to and do that for 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it can be so small and just start off small, and then you can allocate more and more time to doing the things that you or others may consider the bigger scale self-care things. Now, I'm an advocate for those bubble baths. I'm an advocate for those long showers, but my life right now, those are few and far between.
Mm-hmm.
Um, One thing, again, like I was talking about, I find that there's a movement now about self-care and self-improvement, and it's remarkable to behold. But again, self-care is what you make of it. If you can read a good book a couple of pages at night, that's something that will help you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you can, I don't know, like I have somebody who told me that she likes expensive hand lotion. And so she likes to just put it on her hands from time to time and just take her time and go over her fingers and her cuticles. And that helps her. And then she likes the smell of it. And that can help her to even relax and bring her back to the present. Really, self care is just that, trying to be more in tune with yourself and also trying to make sure that whatever's going on with you, you can check in and say, okay, what do I need right now? Do I need a minute? Do I need a hug? Do I need a phone call? Do I need to just be still for a few seconds? And that's okay.
You bring up something really good. 2 points that I actually want to talk more about, because I think this is something that, for lack of better words, plagues women when it comes to seeking and really initiating self-care. And number one is guilt.
Yes.
You feel guilty for taking the time out, for saying that I need this time. And I have found I used to experience that really heavily, just feeling like a lot of guilt because I felt like my responsibility to my family was being, put on the back burner because I'm taking this time for myself. But I have found that I can't enjoy it the way that I want to when I'm stressed, when I'm overwhelmed, when I'm tired, when I'm sick of them touching me, quite frankly, and especially like right now, like my husband, PJ and I had a conversation just yesterday, and the kids were bickering back and forth. He said they're sick of each other, and I'm like, I'm sick of them,
Right, exactly.
like, and just before I would have never even said that. I would have never said that, but I realized that me being honest with how I'm feeling does not determine how much I love my family, how much I care about my family. So removing that guilt and allowing, and I feel like if I feel this way, other people have to feel this way.
Of course.
And in order for us to get past that, we need to talk about it, right? You need to hear a mom say, you know what, my kids are getting on my nerves, because you're thinking it. You just don't want to say it. So then I'll give you permission to say it too.
Exactly.
So yeah, let's talk a little bit about guilt and self-care and, dispelling that craziness.
Right. Okay. Well, I think for women, there's so many stigmas and so many preconceived notions about what a woman is and what she's to do, what she's to represent. And even though times have changed millions of times over, I mean, actually, if you look at, how times have changed, their expectations for women to be all has not. I'm really surprised and shocked of the conversations that I have, even in my own circles and also in professional circles, about working outside of the home, but also coming home to be a wife, a mother, a cook, a play person with your kids, the bath time person, the sexy wife, all in like 24 hours. And that's not possible. And so women are breaking under the heaviness of that, and also because of the guilt that society and also our mothers' mothers, or other women sometimes
or ourselves
can give us, it can say to us. And I know, like I said, I've been in circles where there have been women, when I first went back to work, it was, I was having a conversation with an older woman, and I was just telling her about trying to adjust, coming from maternity leave and going back to work. And she was like, well, you just have to get it done. And I was like, well, what does that look like? I mean, this is another social worker, and she was an older wife and a mother. And I said, well, what does that look like? And she couldn't tell me. She was like, well, you just have to to do it. She's like, women have been doing it for thousands of years, but that's not okay.
And they're miserable. And they're miserable. They're dying inside. They're depressed. They're not enjoying it. You know what I mean?
They're
like,
not.
yeah, that burns me up because I so many times, like I used to be the queen of game face, put your game face on. Like,
right.
Oh, we got to cut that out. We got to stop telling each other that because
you do. And
enjoy it.
But when you can't enjoy it and you keep going through the motions, again, you're going to eventually be on fumes. And running on fumes is not going to be good. Like they say, if mama's not happy, nobody is happy. And so when you're running on fumes, it's spilling over into every aspect of your life. Work, family, any outside hobbies that you enjoy, you don't have any joy. And I think it's, a shame that there's so much guilt attached to wanting to find some peace and love on yourself and take a break and be able to say, I need a few minutes. I need a few seconds. Just give me a minute. Or, hey, I'm not okay. And somebody comes alongside of you and just kind of wraps around you instead of like, well, you'll be okay. Make it happen. Right. And I'm really shocked that we're still dealing with that with all these advancements in technology, in healthcare,
mental health, even
life, being an entrepreneur, but still, women still come down to these types of roles that they have been put in since the beginning of time. Mm-hmm. And I just, my heart breaks for people that deal with that. Everybody is affected, the children, the husband, of course, the woman as well. And that's why it's important to check in with yourself, even if you can just do the relaxation techniques or do the mindfulness exercises. You'll start to feel better. The brain dumping, and if you can go into the journaling, then that's something you can step into. But a lot of people don't like journals, But I find that they can do the brain dump.
I like to collect them. Yeah. Writing in them, it's a whole nother.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of beautiful journals.
I do too love journals. Same thing with planners. I love beautiful planners. But I have collected journals of my own over time, and I can look back and say, wow, this was going on. I can remember, and I can compare then to where I am now. And they've helped me in that aspect. But like I said, even affirmations are something that I help women come up with. And just one or two a day, you can just say them. I'm strong, I can do this. I'm smart. I deserve. I mean, just I deserve is enough sometimes to let you know, hey, I do deserve. I deserve a moment. I deserve to be listened to. I deserve to have my emotions respected. And that's part of self-care, boundaries.
It definitely is. Absolutely. Well, there's something I actually do, and I want to share this because I've found so much empowerment in this. Mm-hmm. So in college, I used to write affirmations and my goals and maybe Bible verses, whatever, on sticky notes and put them on my bathroom mirror. And my roommate in a conversation we had years later, she reminded me that I did, and I hadn't done it in years. I'm like, oh yeah. So I kind of picked it up again and started doing it. Well, from there, it kind of morphed into me. I use a dry erase marker and I write on my mirror. And I like that because I have like Bible verses. I have, when I was planning out, my retreat, I wrote down my goals. I wrote down the flow just on my bathroom mirror. For one, it's something I see every day, right? So when I'm brushing my teeth or doing my hair, I'm looking at it. And these are things and goals that I want for myself. But also the empowering part is that my husband sees it.
Absolutely.
And my kids see it. Absolutely. So they know the space that I'm in. They know what I'm working on. They know what my goals are. And my husband, he'll every now and then will check in like, so how many people do you have registered? Mm-hmm. And it's accountability. It's empowering. It's showing that I have something for me that I'm trying to work toward. And I think that I would definitely like encourage you to, I keep it in my I have like a little vase with some like rocks, I try to do some little decor, but I keep my dry erase marker in there. And when something comes to me, if I'm listening to a word or something or a song, and I'll just like write it on that board. And I mean, it's erasable, but I just write it on there because I think it's just the overall view of something that is meaningful to me.
Absolutely.
And I don't have to say it. I don't have to explain it. It's there, and it is what it is. So I would.
And it's yours. It's yours. And that in itself is empowering because that's something that you own, something that you identify with, something that you can relate to, that's special to you. And even building upon that, look where that has got, look, hey girl, hey,
Right.
hey girl fitness. I mean, look at your business. And it came from, these goals, these affirmations, they've blossomed. And who's to say it's for the next woman that can't be them too? Starting out with a brain dump or starting out with, I'm going to do, just one or two things today. What are they going to be? And then going into affirmations and then boom, a business plan. Boom, your business. Boom, something that you like to do. And to me, upholding yourself and loving yourself and regarding yourself are the highest levels of self-care that any person can do. Because that validation from yourself, once you start pouring it into yourself, that's, to me, in my opinion, is one of the greatest things that can cause momentum and drive in a person.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
100%.
So self-care is so important. And I really wish more people, not just women, but more people would subscribe to it.
Absolutely.
There's been much data presented about how much women and men work to try to obtain a lifestyle versus like just having money saved or working hard to get those promotions because you think that you need this or you need that in your account so you and your family can be okay. And then when they come back and they do the measuring of the person's mental awareness of themselves or self-awareness or what they may have had to sacrifice to get there, a lot of people can't always seem to make it fit because they've sacrificed a lot here, maybe with family or themselves, and they've gone up here and maybe gotten the money. But again, there has been some huge sacrifices made, and sometimes those sacrifices can be irreversible, and they can affect people negatively. So again, checking in with yourself. Hey, am I okay? Do I like what I'm doing today? Do I like how I'm feeling today? If not, why not? Okay, if I can answer why not, then what's one small thing that I can do right now to feel a little bit better or to change it? Calling a friend. I mean, that's something like we were talking yesterday about sisterhood. That's something that's very important. Even if it's just a text, hey girl, just checking on you to see how you're doing today. I've called patients of mine, and you would be surprised. They didn't think I was going to call. They weren't expecting me to call, but just for me to call them and check in with them, that makes a difference. And just being able to check in with yourself or with somebody else to say, hey, I'm not okay. Or, hey, this happened to me today. Let me talk to you about it. But again,
I picked up another practice too, and you brought this to mind, is whenever someone, especially a female friend, pops into my mind, I reach out to them immediately. So, because I've had moments where I had a phone call from a very important person to me at that time, and I didn't answer the phone, and they're no longer here. And to this day, I've made it a mission of mine, like whenever somebody important to me calls me, or I at least acknowledge them in some way. Do you need me? Or call them right back. But also because I know, especially right now, like just a few minutes ago, I had a young lady who she came on my mind. I just sent her a message like, just checking on you, you crossed my mind. And she said, thank you so much. Because you don't know what people are going through. So, and there's a reason why I believe God placed that person on your heart and your mind. And you need to act on it. You need to be obedient because you don't know what you're going to do. saving somebody from, or what kind of life you can be breathing into a person. So
Exactly.
I'm glad you said that, because that's something that I really try to hold myself accountable to do. And I think that's in line with self-care too, right? Because when we're feeding into other people, and we're uplifting folks, it's uplifting for us too. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, something that you said is, I mean, wow. Like you said, checking in with somebody when they fall on your mind and making sure, hey, just checking in with you. Are you okay? And it does have a two-way benefit to it. So you're able to reach out to that person, and then maybe y'all, you can both share, and then you both walk away from that feeling better. Or like you say, hey, I really appreciate you calling today. And that's really important right now with everything that's going on in the world, with, of course, the pandemic. And there's a lot of anxiety circling around about that, the reopening of states, the economy, the way it is, and of course, all the health issues and concerns about exposure and contracting COVID-19. So I ask the people that I work with and I work for, when those issues come up or those conversation topics come up, well, what can we do to help to decrease the level of anxiety? And believe it or not, some of those things that I've talked to them about include some self-care. Getting outside just for a few minutes to get some fresh air. I mean, that works wonders. Get some vitamin D, on your skin, and feel the sunshine. And even on days like today here, it's not real sunny, but it's not rainy, and the temperature is it's moderate. So you can get out and just walk around your neighborhood. If you don't feel like doing that, just open your windows if you're not, of course, allergic to the pollen. But open your windows and get some fresh air going into your home, or open your blinds or your curtains just to get some light in. And so those types of things can also help. But I am finding, again, the brain dumping, or I call it, because sometimes we as people can naturally have, that's my baby in the background, so I'm sorry about that.
Hi, Jeremy.
You say hey. But some people, we tend to catastrophize things, and rightfully so. I mean, we have never seen these types of times before. However, just trying to bring it back to the present and focus on the now. Because sometimes when we're anxious, we are really deeply processing things that either we think are going to happen, we don't want to happen, or we're trying to control happening. And that can disrupt sleep, it can disrupt relationships. And so I've been really working with people lately about that.
Good information. Sorry, my husband is messing with the kids. I don't know if you heard that.
I did, and I say, hey.
Making a whole bunch of noise out there.
But self-care, is something that can really, really benefit people right now, men and women, kids even, doing things with family, like we talked about yesterday, but also getting alone, and, whether it's a meditation again, or deep breathing, or relaxation techniques. And I'll provide some information about all of these things, because I truly believe in them.
Yeah, so if there's something you want to share in the group too, I don't know if I told you this, you can feel free to share. If you have any tools or resources, you feel free to share them in the summit group, because I think it'll be beneficial information for all of them, for all the women.
I agree. I definitely look forward to doing that. And if anybody, I'll post my information. If anybody wants to talk more about self-care or some other ways to do it, or some methods, I'll be more than happy to do that. But during this time, while we are at home, if you are able to light those candles and get into that bubble bath, by all means do that, or if you're able to just, again, like one of my clients did, use that lotion, that good smelling hand lotion, and just rub it and massage your hands, and, get a whiff of the aroma, because aromatherapy too is very important. But yeah, I just really want women to know that your needs are important, and getting your needs met are important. And self-care is a vehicle to getting your needs met, setting boundaries, and also empowering you to not just go on, but go further.
I love it. I love it. That was the perfect closeout.
You.
Erica, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for
Thank you
sharing
so much.
your
And anybody
expertise
in the
with us.
group who watches this, please post a comment and tell me what your thoughts are, some of the things that you do for self-care, because I'm always looking to add to my bag of resources and also things that I try myself. But thank you guys, and thank you, Vicki, for having me.
Thank you. I'm so glad to have you here, and share that information with Erica, because I mean you help all of us by sharing that. So let
I
us know
will.
what you see, and we will see you shortly, right? We have another
That's
session
right.
that's coming up soon. So we'll see you all
Can't
later.
wait.
Bye-bye.
Bye.